If you have a Nikon D90 digital SLR and you bought the GPS unit, the Nikon GP-1, I guarantee that the first time you plug it in and you bump that little connection, you're going to break the circuit board inside of your camera. Let me show you. The problem is that there's too much space around the plug where it goes into the camera, allowing that plug to wiggle back and forth. As you can see here, this is a repaired camera, so I don't want to push it too hard. Let's look and see what's happening inside. See how much that cable can move back and forth as you bump it? And this is what's happening on the back of that circuit board, is the solders are coming completely loose and it's just breaking free of the circuit board, and you have to repair your camera. That repair is going to cost you about $200 to replace that circuit board. What I did, so this won't happen next time, is I went down to Home Depot and got some epoxy putty. Cost about $8 for this little tube. You just use a little tiny bit. You take the putty out of the tube. There's two parts that you have to mix together. There's kind of a blue putty, and inside of that is kind of a gray putty. So you'll cut a slice off of there, whatever you need, maybe 3/8 of an inch or even less. You really don't need that much. And it's got a plastic wrap around it, so you'll need to cut that off and peel that away, like so. And then you want to knead that putty. You got to mix it up really well and make sure that those two colors of putty are completely mixed, so you have just one even color of putty. And then once it's good and mixed, I put some kind of grease on both my camera and on the connection, because you could use Vaseline or something. I used Carmex because that happened to be on my desk. Make sure you cover that really well. Not, you don't want it gobbed on, but make sure you've got a good smooth coverage on both the plug and on your camera part. Then plug the cord in, the cable, and start pushing that putty in there so that you fill all of the voids between the plug and the camera within that connection. Go all the way around the cable, including make sure you pull a little door back and push it in behind the door. Then once you've got the putty pushed in all the way around, wait about 30 minutes or so, or longer is fine, until that putty is good and set. It doesn't have to be completely cured. I think that takes 24 hours or so, but it does need to be set up pretty well. And then once the putty is good and set, pull the cable out of the camera, and that little putty may stick to the cable, it may stick to the camera. Hopefully you've greased both up well enough that it doesn't stick permanently to either one, and then you can remove that putty off of the cable. If there are some little pieces sticking out, you can trim those off with an X-Acto knife or some other sharp knife. Then the next time you plug your GP-1 into your D90, make sure that little epoxy plug is in there, and that should eliminate or at least reduce the amount of play that cable has, and thus reduce the chance that it's going to break that circuit board inside the camera. And you can spray it black if you don't like the white color. I happen to use a glossy paint because I had it. I think I'm going to go back and spray it with a flat black so it blends in a little better. You can trim it and make it look a little prettier if you want. Make sure you trim the top so that little door will open, and you're done.